last week when I was watching our episode back to edit it, every time we started talking about something, I was like, I completely forgot we talked about any of it. Like, we talked about the Met Gala. We talked about, like, Taylor Swift for so long.
Yes, on the last episode, I listened to it in the car, and I was like, oh, I thought we talked about nothing. And then it was like, we talked about so many things. But Taylor Swift was 37% of it.
Happens. Hi, Hannah. How are you doing?
Hi, Maddie. I'm doing the best I can. How are you doing?
Same. My allergies have, like, been kicking up this week. So, like, my eyes are buttholes right now.
Yeah. Well, you're doing the best you can, just like me. They are.
Yeah. They're a little buttholey, right?
I have a little under eye issue as well. So, what can you do?
My eye doctor, or old eye doctor, I guess I should say, I, like, went to him because my mom, well, I was going for my annual eye exam, and he was like, you have really bad dark circles. And I was like, yeah, I do. And he was like, is it just always like that? Were you up late? Like, what's your deal? And I was like, no, they're just always kind of there. And he was like, yeah, that's not normal. It's probably your allergies. And so that was the first time I had been told that, like, your dark circles could be not necessarily because you're tired, but because of allergies. So that was when I first got my allergy eye drops prescribed to me.
That's so interesting. I never knew that. And I wonder if that's why my eyes get bad. Because I tell Emily, I come into work sometimes and I'm like, dude, this is insane. I can't even open my eyes.
Yeah, it might be. Might be.
This week, we had Libby Crawford.
Yes, we did. Miss Libby, fan of the pod, longtime listener, first time caller, interview. It was such a good chat. Like, it was another one of those, we always say this, that, you know, we'll sit and we'll start talking and then it's an hour goes by and we are like, oh, we're just getting started. But truly, I think with this one, the conversation was, like, just really solid for an hour.
I agree. I was going to say, I agree. She was great. I loved how much she knew about the podcast. She is a longtime listener.
We love a fan. So if you don't know Libby, you will after this. If you do know Libby, I'm sure you already love her. So enjoy this episode. We have exciting news to finally tell you on the other side. I'm noticing I don't have my notes open though, so I do have to catch up in that.
Okay.
Okay, so let me get this. Cool. Okay.
I think I'm going to move mine over. Now I'm good. Nope. Yep. Hi, Libby.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a longtime listener and forced my way in by way of Instagram comment. So.
Yes.
Oh, very nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't remember if it was the first or second season when we were like, if you want to be on the podcast, everybody, just let us know. And she, right after that episode, was like, hey, if you ever want me to be on the podcast, and I said, yes, we do.
Yes.
If
you want to be on, we want you on.
100%.
For sure is a last resort. I was telling people at work today, I was like, I'm not really sure what I'm going to say. I know I'm not like a super intriguing person, but
stop.
I think stuff will come up.
I think you were going to be perfect. I think it's going to be very intriguing.
Thanks.
We'll be good.
Good.
So how's it going? How's life been since I've seen you? I don't think I've seen you since maybe Holland's wedding.
I think so. Yep. That probably would have been the last time. 2018? 19. 18. That would have had to be 18.
No,
yeah. No?
No, because I graduated 2017, so she graduated fall. Oh, yeah, I guess it would have been maybe 2018.
Okay. Yeah. It's been good. It's been bonkers. I had a moment over this past weekend where I was like, I saw 2023 somewhere, and I was like, certainly we're not in that year. I was like, that's absurd. It's
No, we couldn't be.
2022, right? And then I had the full on like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it is 2023. Time won't slow down.
No. Well, and I'm trying to plan trips home. I feel like, I mean, when I lived in New York, going home was, it required some planning, but it was like
Yeah.
you're traveling East Coast time zone to East Coast time zone, so it's not that crazy. But
Mhm.
now, from California to home just feels like a whole other adventure and endeavor. And then so, like, as I'm planning stuff, I'm like, okay, well, I'll try to go do this at the end of April, but I have time. And then I look in the mirror and I'm like, no, you don't. That's literally a month from now.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
just,
sick.
yeah,
I can't believe you just said that. That's so close.
yeah, yeah. And so
Mhm.
it
Oh,
just, it's that time of year. And I know it happens every freaking year at the end of February until like July blazes
Mhm.
by. Just
Mm.
blazes. So,
yeah.
Yeah. You'll I think you two will be shocked. I'm 26 and I've never been on an airplane. I've never found myself on an airplane. So my boyfriend and I are trying to plan some sort of trip to get me on an airplane this summer.
I love that.
That'll be so
That's
fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have ideas
Mhm.
of where you're going to go?
We're both intrigued by like Seattle
Mm.
area.
Or
Yeah, and then I just Googled like romantic places to go in the Northeast
yes,
because we're also
always.
intrigued by there.
Yeah.
He was interested in Washington, D.C., and I feel bad, but I'm not like much of a historian, and I feel like most of that trip would be sightseeing the historical stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
DC's fun. I mean,
Mhm.
I get that though. It's like if you're not someone who's like really into that kind of like genre of stuff, I don't
Mhm.
know if I would have necessarily a great time there. It's pretty,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
there's also other pretty places.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you two have advice for me as far as like Nisi was one of your guests, and
Mhm.
when I told her that, she's like, Lib, I know you're gonna be fine once you're up in the air. Like that's the least stressful part. It's the planning, it's the airport, like that's gonna overwhelm you.
Hannah, do you have advice? Let Hannah. We
One
have
of
we have opposite
wait,
takes on airports.
Oh. Uh-huh.
I'll tell you a few things here. One, I am get there 3 hours early.
Mm-hmm.
I hate TSA.
Mm.
Love them to death. They'll keep us safe maybe, but
Maybe.
they are so scary and it's so long and stressful sometimes. So I'll get there literally 3 hours early. And then I don't sit at my gate because it's usually like crowded. So just
Mm.
find an empty gate because it doesn't matter.
Mm.
And then when it gets closer, then go closer to your gate. Um, I'm not great on a plane. I recently
Yeah.
threw up on myself, so
Oh.
I have no no helpful guideline tips on that.
Yeah.
Take Dramamine. I did. It did not help,
Oh,
but take
take
it
it anyway. Okay.
for sure. Um, and then my mom always says, not sure what your vibe is, but my mom is Catholic, and she says if anything happens, all you can do is say an Our Father, and that's the best you can do. So if that gives you any peace, my mom always says it's out of your hands. So
Mm.
just fly and enjoy it because it's probably will be fine.
Yeah.
Flying is an excellent way to practice releasing control
Yes.
because
Mm.
You
you have
are
no power when you're up there. You're
Yeah.
no.
just at the hands of whoever's flying the plane. So it is
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
a very good test of just releasing.
Letting go.
I am the opposite of Hannah in that I get to the airport
Hmm.
as last minute as possible, but that comes from, I think, flying a lot.
Mm.
But not to say I don't think people can do it. You just have to be efficient. If you find
Yeah.
yourself to be an efficient person, and I think that that is the quality of myself that I love the most, which is
Mhm.
I'm always looking for the most streamlined and efficient way to do anything. And so I normally will get there. It depends on the airport, like, and when you're flying. Because if you're flying on, like, I don't know, a
Mm.
Saturday morning at
Yeah.
9 a.m., so are 1,000 people. So you have to
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
account for that. But
Mhm.
a lot of people do show up so early for their flights that it ends up like clogging the lines and stuff
You're
for
welcome.
people who are flying like more close to their time.
Uh-huh.
So I normally will get there like right before the baggage claim drop off cuts off, which is normally
Mm.
45 minutes to an hour, dependent on the airport.
Yeah.
And so I'll go drop my baggage. And then TSAs, I would say in most cities now, is super streamlined. Like you may have to wait a little bit, but I haven't waited in a TSA line for longer than like 15 or 20 minutes in the last 3 to 5 years.
Mm.
And I think it's a lot
True.
also because so many people have TSA pre-check now where you like don't have to take everything out. And so many
Yeah.
of the airports have upgraded to like you don't have to take your laptops out of your bag. You don't have to take your, you know, some of them you don't have to take your shoes off anymore.
Mm.
So it is it's better in that sense. But then yeah, I normally either go to a bar or a restaurant and get food if I have time. But my biggest like flight thing is make sure you have stuff downloaded on your phone already or iPad or
Yeah.
whatever. Because once you're in the airport, even if they have Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi sucks. So it's hard to download stuff.
Yes.
And if I have a morning flight, I have like a morning music playlist that I just pop in my headphones and I sleep. And even if
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping, I have a scarf and my sunglasses and like a hood up. And I pretend to be asleep.
Yeah.
And if I'm flying more like during the day or afternoon, I'll typically watch TV or movies, or potentially work, depending on what it is. You'll be fine. It'll be fun. Do you have any fears of flying, or are you just kind of like, it'll be what it is?
I think the fear is the takeoff and landing because
Yeah.
everyone always makes it out to be so bad with the ears popping and I've seen countless TV show movies where there's bad turbulence and
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's a little ugh.
It's honestly, so my thing with turbulence is when you're in a car and you feel bumps, that's all turbulence is just like the air going under the car is just bumping. So that made me feel better that I was like, oh, I'm just in a car and it's just
Yeah.
bouncing in a car. And then I've never had it be like a scary amount of turbulence. It's been like enough where I'll get motion sick because it's like a slow up and down, but never where you're like scared. And I've flown not as much as Maddie, but I've flown a decent amount and it's never happened. I will say my fun fact about the airport is don't ever smoke pot before you go and wipe your hands on your pants because the drug dog will 100% smell that and you will get pulled aside and searched. So don't do that. And anybody listening, PSA, like don't touch your clothes or change your clothes before you go to the airport. You know what I mean?
I will
Just so
say
you know.
that is something that like in LA and I think in a lot of states where weed is now legal, like there are dogs on duty in the TSA area and they like make you walk past them. And
Yeah.
and that didn't used to be a thing.
And they tap
and they'll
you.
like come up and, tap you or whatever if you do smell like drugs or whatever. But it's like Ben and I always get so excited when we see the dogs. We're like, "Oh, it's a good working boy or girl," and they're so cute.
They're so
They're
good.
just like walking up.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah.
They do a great job. And usually if they're there, the TSA
Yeah.
is looser. Like you don't have to take your shoes off a lot of the times and things like that. So it is nice having the dogs. Just again, change your clothes and you're good to go.
This is such great advice. Thank you.
See? Good. That's what we're here
Yeah.
for.
Oh, I love it. So you mentioned you have a boyfriend. How
Mhm.
exciting. How long have you two been together?
A little over a year. Started dating December of 2021. 2. Oh my God. See, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
2023.
Couldn't be
Tear
any.
me up.
Who
Um,
knows?
2021.
Yeah. That makes
Yes.
sense.
Yes. There we go. Yeah. And he grew up in Minnesota, met on Hinge. I would recommend Hinge to anyone. Like my sister is gonna get married in November to a guy she met on
Oh
there.
my God.
My lovely twin Kira Martin met her man through there, and I just it seems to work. It's the I think the nice in between of like not totally looking for hookup, but not as I don't know. I bet Bumble works for people, but it just never did for me.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
always
I feel the same.
Yeah.
I used Hinge some before I met
Mhm.
Ben. And I felt like it was the one that I could provide the most like I don't know, personalized like
Mm.
vision of who I was in some
Yeah.
ways cuz like you get the multiple photos but then you get to answer the questions and I think
I think you can put a recording of your voice, which made me sick to
Oh
listen to. Like I couldn't
no.
listen to
no.
them when they had them on there. I'm like, if I hear it, I will swipe left immediately or hit the X,
What do you
whatever it is
even
on
say? Is it
Hinge.
like your elevator speech for yourself?
Yeah,
Oh.
kind of. Or sometimes people would tell a joke or
Mhm.
just be like, "Hi, my name is whatever," and it's like I can't hear this. I don't want to ever hear
It's
your
a little
voice.
cringy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah.
after my time on Hinge that became
Mm.
available.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. You're lucky.
I
You're
like
truly
don't know what I
lucky.
would have done. I feel I want to say I would have done something silly on it and like
Oh yeah.
but then even then it's still kind of cringy.
Mm.
I know, right? You can try
Ugh,
your best, but it's a tough
Mm.
one.
we love
I've
it.
loved
But yeah.
the videos I've seen of your younger self on Instagram, Maddie. Oh, yeah. I think there's just something so special about our younger selves,
Yeah.
how like the societal bullshit hasn't gotten to us yet. And we're just like silly and playful and
Yeah.
yeah.
Before we
Back in the
before
day.
we
Yeah.
were jaded by this world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of growing up and being a kid, you're a younger sister. Your sister's getting
Mm-hmm.
married, you said.
Yeah.
What was the dynamic like growing up?
It was not good at first
Mm.
just because I was a really spoiled kid and like
Sure.
one of my shocking stories or that I tell is that I called 911 on my sister once when she was
Nice.
babysitting me. Like she wasn't doing anything bad. I
Sure.
was just annoyed and didn't want her in charge of me. So I called 911. And then, of course, my parents come home and I sob. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm so sad, totally trying to get out of trouble. But they ended up buying me a book, and I wish I still had it, but like had a touchpad on
Mm-hmm.
it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool that a book was actually made about that, like
Yeah.
appropriate times to call 911. Um,
Yeah.
but I would say we hit a big shift in high school
Mm-hmm.
because I was a freshman when she was a senior.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of ushered me into like dance team and marching band. And we certainly didn't like roam in the same friendship circle, but we were in enough of the same activities that it definitely like strengthened our relationship. And now I just love her. She's my favorite person.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's so
Yeah.
nice.
I loved the episode with Cassie, Hannah. I don't know you, but like all your family episodes, I found so endearing. I thought I knew a lot
Oh,
about
that's
pop
nice.
culture, but Cassie had me beat.
She's
Yeah.
on top of it. She
Uh-huh.
really
Like I
is.
can't
My parents, yeah, my parents were literally, they called her in the other night to be, I think it was
yeah.
probably the Oscars or something, and they kept calling her in to be like, Cassie, what? who is this and where are they from? And she knows. She's like IMDb. It's
Yeah.
great.
Impressive.
Yeah. It works out
Yeah.
for us. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. That's nice to hear.
And your mom, the first thing, I just wish more people were like this. You had introduced her and everything, and the first thing she said was, "I'm scared." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, why don't we do that more?" And just say, "Ooh."
Right?
Yeah.
So, another Leatherneck, another Western baddie, you could say.
Sure.
Sure, right? The regular question is, which restaurant was your favorite?
Oh, it's hard not to go with Chicks just because it's so unique. But I'll be honest, when my family would visit, and they would visit a fair amount, they were about a 4-hour drive away. We went to, is it Sports Corner? Okay, yeah, the one with the bulldog on the wall.
Yeah.
We went there quite a bit because it's just, you know, you can find something on the menu that everyone will like, and yeah.
Yeah, those are the usual two that we hear. Everyone goes to Chicks, obviously. And now we've started to hear Sports Corner more, which has been, very interesting. I lived at Chubby's to the point that I could have signed their wall before they moved to the other location. And it's evidently embarrassing because everyone's like, Chubby's was awful. And I'm like, yeah, but it was like good. And so cheap. It was like dirt cheap. So yeah, Chubby's was one of my favorites, but Chicks and Sports Corner are definitely superior.
Yeah. I liked Chubby's tater tots. Didn't they have tater tots? Yeah.
I just never, we didn't go there a lot, and I don't know why. I think it was just like no one really ever I don't know. I was always choosing El Ranch. If I was in charge, it was El Ranch. And if I don't know, if Anthony was picking, it was Chicks or El Ranch. I don't know. We were an El Ranch bunch.
Yeah, El Ranch was so good. El Ranch was sketchy, but El Ranch was so good.
Yeah.
I will tell.
Their margaritas.
Oh, Niecy loves. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I will tell you, I got so sick of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh my
God.
And
it's not even like a Macomb specialty. It's just a chain, but I ate there so much.
Yeah.
I don't think I have in years now.
Well, and didn't
oh my God, yes.
Someone worked there. Keyshawn worked there, didn't he? Or
maybe.
Someone, I feel like someone in your friend group, maybe not, worked there for a while.
Possibly.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I went there for a birthday and I was pissed because I thought you got like the chocolate cake and ice cream or whatever for free. And they said, "Oh, we don't do that anymore." And I was like, why did I come?
Devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really burnt out on B-dubs too, but now I'm finally at the place where like I occasionally want it again, but even then I never go to B-dubs. I go to like Wingstop or something else typically.
We have up here when COVID happened, I don't know if this happened everywhere, but Chili's made a separate like account on DoorDash that was called like It's Just Wings. And it's just their wings and curly fries, but it's Chili's, and that was so good because their chicken. Well, I only eat boneless, so it's literally like chicken tenders and small chicken tenders. They're so good. I loved getting it. That like saved my life during the pandemic for sure.
Yum.
So 10 out of 10. But I get that craving for like Buffalo Wild Wings French fries. I really like those. But yeah, I definitely got tired of it for sure.
I'm trying to think if there were any other places that I really got burnt out on there. Not really. I ate a lot of Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Just right
and that's
there.
the thing when people ask, I think especially theater folks at Western, how you felt about Macomb. It was hard to talk about the town because I was like, truly, you don't get that much free time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I never had really bad things to say about it, but I was like, it's okay that it's not hopping because I don't really have the time to do much in Macomb.
Yeah, I remember my last year there, kind of having a little more space and time to like go places, and like
Mm.
starting to go to Sullivan and Taylor coffee and like have time to sit and drink it there and whatever, and being like, I wish I had done this more all 4 years, but it was just like
Mm.
going to the square in the middle of the day was not something I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
closed kind of early. Well, not really, but if you were in rehearsal, you couldn't
Mm.
go. Same with the old
Yeah.
dairy. I like didn't go there a whole lot, but I wish I would have.
Oh,
Yummy.
the Old Dairy. Shout out Old Dairy, because that was, I love that place
Yeah.
for breakfast. That's like,
Mhm.
because I could get a chicken salad sandwich. So I was a happy camper because I don't really like breakfast food, but it was so good. It was such a
Yeah.
great place.
I don't know. Macomb definitely, and when I was back there this past spring, or yeah, last year in the spring, it definitely, like, in a lot of ways felt exactly the same, but there was some newness to it and some
Mm.
change of, like, I don't know, nothing stays the exact same. When you go back,
Mm.
you like notice how things have shifted and what people call different things, and what's gone in various places and whatnot. But like, I had an appreciation for it that I think I was ready to get out of Macomb, but I wasn't
Mm.
necessarily like, it wasn't the same ready to get out like I was in high school for me.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not like, oh, I never want to go back to that place, because obviously I went back
Mm.
and I do like Macomb. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
you don't really have a reason to go back unless you make one.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. It's and I think the longer I was there, the more like kind of soft to it I became. Because I think
Mm.
maybe freshman and sophomore year
Yeah.
I was a little antsy. But then by junior
Mm.
and senior year, like, I don't know. You have the freedom, like you're on your own, you live in an apartment.
Libby, have you been back?
No, I went back the year after I graduated for, I think, the dance concert. So it was just the class below me that I went back and visited, but that would have been pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
not since then.
Yeah. I one of my friends is getting married and she's from
Hmm.
down there. So we'll go down there and I can't wait because we're going to
Oh,
Chicks. I'm gonna now go to the Old
mm,
Dairy. Like
yeah.
I have to. We have to stay in Macomb. Like and we'll
You
just drive
should.
to
Hmm.
wherever. I was like maybe we'll drive down Friday, stay in Macomb, Saturday get ready, go to the place, party, and then stay in that place's location. Maybe we'll do that because I have to plan at least
You
4
gotta.
meals
Mm.
there.
Hmm.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
What was your favorite bar in Macomb?
Definitely the Forum. I am an anxious
Mm-hmm.
person, and there's something about, like, sure, it's crowded and sweaty and bleh, but there's like the loud music, and it's more dance oriented than any of the other ones.
Yep.
So I'm like, I can let myself loose a little here when I've got the good old step touch to keep me motivated to be there. uh, yeah, I think I only ever went there and the Ritz,
Yeah.
and I can't remember
Mhm.
the place or the name of the place that has the $1 bills everywhere.
The pace.
The
Oh.
pay? No. No, 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 no.
Oh,
She
the
means
cafe.
Oh, sure, yeah.
yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
cafe I actually never went to in college. I went to for the first time when I went back this past year. And
Oh,
I was like, Tom and Justin were there, and they were like, "This is so weird that you've never, that you like haven't," or no, I guess
Yeah.
it was Tom and Anthony, not Justin. We're like, "It's so weird that you never came here," and I said, "Well, it's because most of the time they would go on Thursdays, and I was always in rehearsal and like wouldn't necessarily go out on Thursdays."
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Monday nights at the cafe. I don't remember. Whatever night they had a good deal.
Mhm.
Oh, I think it might have been Monday because I feel like we went after Half Price Pizza, like
Yeah.
at Larry's. Like I feel
Yeah,
like
because
that's
we
when we
went with
would go.
Tyler, and so I was
Yeah,
there, and I was like, "Oh, I love this vibe. Like, I wish I would have come here."
yeah.
On
But
it sooner. Yeah.
we, yeah.
It's got a
Mm-hmm.
low ceiling.
Mhm.
Low ceiling. Yeah. So if I wore even a little bit of a
Yeah.
heel, Tyler and I were like,
Head tilted.
Yeah. I just had a memory flash in my brain because we were there celebrating my birthday one year and like took a picture on the stairs. Don't they have a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
stair? Yeah, and
yes.
some
Yep.
intoxicated girl like jumped right in the front of my picture, our group
Sure.
picture,
It's
and
gonna be me.
she like has
That's
the
gonna be
peace sign
me.
up, and
You're like,
Niecy's like caught
That's
in a
me.
like big side eye. Oh, it's a great picture.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
that's really funny.
Oh, I love
yeah.
that. That's such a
Uh,
great place. Oh, yeah. I wonder I wonder who's gonna be. I should tell Tyler. Is
Yeah.
Tyler still down there? I should tell him that I'm
Oh, yeah,
coming
yeah, yeah.
down
You
just to
should definitely
see.
see him. Have you met
this
his
isn't
girlfriend?
Tyler
Yeah.
Breeding, right?
Tyler Thill. He,
Okay, I don't know.
you would recognize
So
him.
this is the
Oh, okay.
weird,
He,
yeah. This is the crossover. Maddie, I don't have any talent or skill, as you individuals do, because you both are, um, didn't you both get
Yeah.
BFAs? Yes. So I only know Maddie because I worked at the pizza place with Tom,
Oh,
and Tyler worked there too.
okay.
So I know those friends. And then I know some of your friends as well.
Yeah. Okay.
he was at like all of the parties. I'm certain you met him.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the like themed parties you went to?
Mm,
Maybe like your freshman year?
freshman year. Oh goodness. Holland was so nice and was my Rocky buddy and like took me under her wing.
The
Especially at the cabin.
sweetest.
Yeah, so I definitely remember going to Halloween there.
Sure.
Oh gosh, but no, I was more the
Did
social
you
butterfly
go
junior, senior year.
to Oh, sure, sure, sure. Did you go to a WWE party?
No.
See, that one I met so many people at that's like
Yeah.
my
Oh,
go-to. When Maddie has someone on from Western, I'm like, that's the only one I
gotcha.
remember. But yeah, no, I
That would have
wonder.
been Rob's
I wonder if I
birthday
was at
party
Halloween.
my junior year. So your senior year, right? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
your freshman
Yeah,
year. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. That was a very fun
Mm.
party. But yeah, that's how I know them. So it's too bad we could have crossed paths more. Um, but I was a social butterfly, so I bet I talked
Probably.
to you at some point because I talked to
It's
everybody.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel so bad because I don't have like a very clear first memory of Maddie. I'm kind of bad at those. Other than
Mm-hmm.
when I did my day in the life at Western, I was watching Merrily We Roll
Oh.
Along. So I saw you, but like the first, like, oh, that's Maddie. She's also a BFA. Like, oh, no, oh my gosh, I do remember, and I loved it. I don't know if it was the
Here
first,
we go.
but when we have the first dinner with
Oh, yeah,
everyone
yeah,
and
yeah.
Hayden and you take the group picture, and then the BFAs went out into the lobby. Um, I'm sure Lisa or someone was like, any of you upperclassmen have advice to impart? And I totally remember you had said, call your mom. And I was like, oh my God, that's so
Aw.
fitting for my mom because she's like always to know how I'm doing. But you said it in a very, they love you, you get busy, it's hard to check in, but like call your parents. They'll appreciate it. And I remember that sticking with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother is going to not believe that I would say that.
That you said that.
She, oh, that's so funny. I definitely remember that. And I was going to say, I assume the first time we met was probably, if I didn't meet you in class, one of those first days or so, it would have been at that department, like dinner,
Right.
that first
Yeah.
week.
Hmm.
Oh man. What's one of your favorite memories from college? Can be a show, whatever.
I really loved group of six of us did Working the musical in fall of my senior year. And I had just gotten off came 2 weeks late into the start of the year due to a summer contract I had that was really wonderful and like kind of transformative for me and self-confidence and self-awareness um, and I had read, because Working is based on a book by Studs Terkel, this wonderful journalist who has since long passed, but it's a very big book, and like I don't know what that's called, the subheading or whatever, is like people talk about what they do all day and how they feel about it, so it's just about jobs and working. And I loved the book, so I was really excited to do the callback and everything for it, and ended up being a part of that show. And it was so intimate because it was just a group of six of us, and maybe you had a similar experience on Songs for a New World, but and Lisa was there. Love Lisa. She was the directing. Yeah. And it was just so special. And it was like a part that I really felt like I grew and was attached to in an artistic way, but also in like a human way of, wow, this is great storytelling. I like doing. That's a big memory. So.
Yeah. How's life outside of academia? Have you gotten used to being a real life person yet?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I just celebrated my birthday this past weekend, and I think the more years go by, the more I'm just painfully aware of how much I don't know. But that's also a great gift in itself. Like I like being a lifelong student and learner. Yeah, it's adulting's hard. I really like living
Yeah.
alone and having my own space and control in that way. And I've lived in Minneapolis for almost 2 years now, and really love it. It's not too far from. My immediate family is very small, but I'm very attached to them, and so like the idea of taking off to a coast really scared me. But it feels like enough of a challenge being here, but still close enough that I can see those beloved people often. And yeah, I had some humbling moments in January. My low tire pressure light came on in my car, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know what I have to do with it. Went to the place. My boyfriend told me to read the tire. The tire said 51. So then I filled it up to that. And then I get to work and they go, I don't think it's supposed to be 51, Libby. That's really high. You have to read.
Good, because I was like,
You got to read in the door jamb, not right on the tire.
Yeah.
And so I had to get air out of there. I went to a Massage Envy, and I'm a horrible pushover, so I let them do a chemical peel on my face, and I'm so fair-skinned that I looked sunburnt for like a whole week. There was another thing too. So it's like age don't mean a thing. Like I'm still struggling.
Yeah. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember just feeling like I was a criminal for so many months after graduating and like being in the real world. And I would have jobs, but I think especially in an industry where you're like kind of gig working, or if you're like working at a restaurant or, just those off hours, it would be like Monday at noon in August and everyone's going back to school and you're like, shouldn't I be doing something? Like, am I breaking the rules? And it took, I mean, I would say now at this point, I finally don't have that feeling anymore. But it lasted like the first 2 or 3-ish years out of
Yeah.
school.
I feel like a criminal still, I'd say. I don't know if I've gotten out of that yet. No, I'm just kidding. I was actually thinking the other day, I was doing my makeup, I think, and I was like, a couple times people have said something positive about my makeup, and I'm like, you know what? I finally feel like I'm getting old enough where I know a little bit of what I'm doing. I was like, it's finally just in that category. I had to go through so many rough stages. You know what I mean? Makeup's so
Mm-hmm.
tough. But finally, it's like we're there in at least one category of my life. I'm like, this is it. I'm getting to a point where I'm feeling successful in
Oh,
something, and it feels great. And it happens to be makeup, but
Yeah.
it's something. So I highly suggest finding something, even if it's small, and just being like, you know what, this is it. I'm a pro at this. At least on
mm,
me. I could never do makeup on someone
mm,
else. But like me learning like yourself and what you're good with and
Yeah.
what works for you, that's
yeah.
the key.
I concur with the
Yeah.
masses. When I followed you on Instagram, I was like, wow, she's beautiful. Like you have very good makeup abilities, but with or without the makeup,
Oh,
you know?
fake. Yeah, no. The mask is so good. It really comes through well. I don't know what I do, but it does work pretty well. Thank you. That's so kind of you. I saw you follow me and I immediately sent it to Maddie and I go,
Do I know this
do we
person?
know her? Because I was like, you follow so many people. I was like, have I met her? And she was like, no, you haven't met her, but you're going to. And I was like, here we
Hmm.
are. Now you
Yeah,
know. So that was nice because then I stalked you,
right.
obviously,
You
Obviously.
have
clearly. Yes. And I was like, oh, perfect. She's so talented. Like everyone else Maddie brings
to.
It's
on.
true. Speaking of, you are a dancer, have been a dancer. Libby is one of my favorite dancers and little choreographers. You've been taking classes in Minneapolis or in the area.
Yeah.
How is that? How is the
Uh,
like I guess yeah, just how is it?
yeah, yeah. This is so in my nature because you asked me that and I just want to like throw it back at you and be like, "You're so talented." That's like one of my main fangirl moments with you is when you did your opposite of loneliness piece, and I was like, "Well, I'm obsessed with her." But Minneapolis has been great. I routinely take like beginner hip hop, beginner heels, which is very out of my element, like sexy heels.
Ooh.
And contemporary. Um, I know I'm missing something, but maybe not. Oh, and like there's one called Cabaret, which like dives into more theatrical personality elements. It's been so nice. I think I loved the well-rounded education on dance we got
Hmm.
at Western. But I will definitely say, especially towards my junior senior year, I got really in my head about it, and a lot of that came from always hearing, "We want more from you," whether that's bigger
Yeah.
or more personality or you name it. And it was valid. It's valid, of
Yeah.
course, but it definitely took away from the joy, I think. So being able to reconnect with dance like in its simplicity after college of just like being present, moving my body for self-expression, not doing it to impress anyone or get a good grade or get a part or
Yeah.
stand out amongst my peers, like, oh, it's been really wonderful. And there's good teachers here, and I've met some nice people, and yeah, it's a good challenge. Yeah.
Nice.
I like that. That's good to hear. I really like that a lot. I, yeah, it's challenges are
Mm-hmm.
fun. Challenges are good, but
Yeah.
they're hard. That's the whole point
Mm-hmm.
of them.
Yeah. I think that's dance is a unique, I mean, it's like any other sport, right? Where you've done it for so long and then you also do it in like an academic or sort of like educational sense and you
Mm-hmm.
train so, you know, intently on it for so long, and then it kind of like strips away what is fun about it. And I mean, in a lot of ways, I'm very burnout from my dance career, and I don't dance as much as I should. I still love to, and I still choreograph a lot and stuff, but it like sometimes I still get in my head because anytime I go into a class, I'm still in that education mindset of like, this is being graded, this is da 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 da, opposed to I'm here to create something, to experience, to make art, you know, for the joy of dance.
Yeah.
So I just love seeing you do that. Every week you post your videos. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy for her.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I was gonna say my mom and I really wanted to learn to tap dance. So we looked at going to classes, and then we saw that you have to participate in the uh, show at the end, and we both said that's not what we can do. We are not performers in that way. So I was like, I'm so sad because I have no talent or ability when it comes to dancing. I get very uncomfortable with it. And so just to be in something would have been great, but to be in a show, I simply couldn't. I simply couldn't. That's why it's so impressive to me that individuals can do all of those things and make it look so easy too. Insane. I could never. It's very, very impressive.
You could.
Tap is hard to find here. If it is here, I don't know where. And I do have like my own little board thing that I definitely need to bring out more. But I much prefer to be taught than to hold myself accountable.
I feel that. Yeah.
Yes.
I absolutely
for sure.
get that. It's kind of interesting. I mean, LA's similar in that, especially when it comes to like adult drop-in type classes, there's tons of commercial / hip hop dance and heels and, you know, jazz even, but there's not many tap or musical theater or whatever. So it's kind of a create your own adventure in that regard.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to dive into her big three, Hannah?
Of course. Of course I do.
I'm excited. I know I'm a Pisces, but that's really all I know. As far as like personality quizzes and stuff, like I've really identified with being an Enneagram 6. Like I know more about that than I certainly do horoscope stuff. So lay it on me.
Before we go on, what is Enneagram 6? What's the word for it normally?
The loyalist?
The loyalist?
I want to say. Yeah, I hope I'm not wrong in that.
I believe you. I know that I'm an achiever, whatever the achiever one is for Enneagram. I think it's 3, right, Hannah? Because aren't you a 3?
No, I'm a 2 and an 8. I was looking.
You might be a perfectionist. 2 is
yeah.
Yeah,
2
I
is
do
the
too.
mentor. 8 is the challenger, Hannah. The 6 you said?
Yeah.
6 is the guardian or the troubleshooter or the loyalist. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I clicked through 3 to see because I didn't see the loyalist at first, but yeah. And then 3 is the achiever, which is me.
The achiever.
The
achiever. That's like when you end up in Gryffindor. It's like, oh, of course. Achiever. Very nice. Okay, cool. I like say it Enneagram.
Enneagram?
What's the Thank you. I'm not even going to try to say that. I think that's so interesting, and I have to look that up more. Because I took that test, and I was like, oh, this is very interesting. Because we take a lot of personality tests. I love them. I was a psych major, so I love them. Yeah.
Do you somewhat identify with being a Pisces when you like see little, like, I don't know, just little silly things on Instagram? Are you like, oh, I kind of see that, or no?
I feel like the stereotype I see often is like really emotional cries at the drop of a hat, and then I go, oh, that's not. But I know you both are Lauren Graham fans. I don't know if either of you have watched Parenthood.
Yeah.
No longer on the air, but I'm rewatching it now, and there are moments where I truly just lose it, like with one line, and I'm like, God damn, maybe I am a Pisces. Um,
Yeah,
but
right?
yeah, so I think so. Yeah, I identify with it. Maybe it's hard to not pinpoint my anxiety though. Like
Yeah.
I have big empathy, but I think some of that feeds into like I was just telling my therapist, like, I was waiting in line for my prescription at Walgreens, and there were like 5 people in line. So then I start, like, I think I shouldn't say normal people. I would assume people's first thought is, oh man, I really want my prescription. I go from like, I really want my prescription to, oh, all these people do too. I hope they don't have like insurance issues or high copays or stuff that's making it hard for them. And then I go, oh, it's obviously hard for those 2 people who have to serve all these people. It's probably been like this since the pandemic. And I like find my way into a very
Yeah.
long list. And so like I think it's anxiety and Pisces empathy wrapped together,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally see that. I don't know. Pisces are, yes, they're like the sappy criers, but they also are just like very artistic, I think, and
Mm,
creative and kind of dreamy and whimsical. Um I love I love Pisces. I think they all are very just like interesting, like creative people. I think they have great vision.
mm,
The thing I found interesting out of these is your moon being in Leo,
mm.
which that's where that saucy heels comes out. Like,
Oh.
I would say you like kind of leaning into that is very like, because while you say like, oh, it's not me, you're still going out there and like doing something that is vulnerable and
Mm,
also like very fiery at all at once, and like putting it, I think that is just, it's so cool because I don't know, not everyone has the comfortability with like just being feminine and like, I don't know, sexual and whatever,
mhm.
and that is like a cool moon sign to have.
Hmm.
Isn't
Yeah.
Leo as a moon also like in a former life you were royalty or something?
That's what I remember. Yeah.
She was
Cool.
a queen.
So there you go.
My full name is Elizabeth.
Oh,
Listen.
here we go.
And then your rising in Taurus is like very grounded, you know, the like earthly sort of, I think different than Virgo, in that Virgo I would say is like naturey. Taurus is
Mm,
more like homebody, like wants to be in
mm,
their own space, loves to have things their way, kind of stubborn, but not necessarily a bad thing. Prefers to feel luxurious.
mm.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
accurate.
and I
Yeah.
definitely see that in you as you're
Hmm.
rising. I think it's a very, I love that big three.
Mm,
Yeah, that's a good big
cool.
three. It's very
Yeah, it's balanced.
equal.
Mm,
Yeah, very
mm.
balanced.
Nice. I know. I read through them on one of the sites I
Mm-hmm.
used, and I don't know which one it was, but it said something like really dislikes shopping. I was like, oh my God. Because I do. I'm so indecisive, and don't ask me to go grocery shopping unless I've made a list already.
Yes.
Like, it's very,
Yeah.
I don't want to just go
That's
winging it.
so funny. Yeah. Well, we know how Hannah feels about shopping. Can't do it.
I hate
Oh,
shopping.
yeah.
Simply can't. I am doing anything I can not to go into a
Mm.
store.
Have you
Oh,
tried those like
God.
online? Nisi amazes me because she's just a fashionista, and I'm watching her like get ready with me TikToks. And I'm like, I would never think. First of all, my closet doesn't have great stuff, and I would never think to pair that stuff together. But I'm always intrigued by those sites where you can just enter stuff and they send it to you. But I'm also cheap, so I'm not going to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, when I had a little bit more before I
Hmm.
bought a house, that's like the worst thing you can do. Before I did that, I had Stitch Fix, which was nice, but the other thing is I am 5'10", and a lot of their stuff would be a little too
Mm.
short on me. So then it was like, oh, I'm buying like nicer things that only kind of
Can
fit, and it would be nice to just find the
Yeah. Can
outfits
you
and
return
then
stuff on Stitch
yeah.
Fix, or is it like they?
You
Oh,
No,
that's
they're
good.
actually great about them. I am awful
Returning.
about if I received it, that's mine. I've made the choice. I've returned one thing and I asked for like a half size bigger and I got it and it still
Mm.
was too small and I wore those shoes for 4.5 years. And it was just like this is what I have to, and I could have absolutely returned them again. And I was like, this is it. These are the shoes that I
Yeah.
have now. I just bought new. They're actually shout out Rothy's. Um, they were Rothy's and they've been washed a bunch of times and all this stuff. Last 4.5 years, I literally only got a new pair because I finally was like, these are too small on you. Just
Yes.
get a bigger
Mm.
pair. But they literally wouldn't. They have not.
And they
They're just
obviously
great
didn't
shoes. I
stretch.
didn't need to replace them. No, right. Like they stretch when I would wash
Hmm.
them and go put them back on, they would kind of get back to their original
Mm.
size and it would be a little too tight for a little. So they're really good shoes. I 10 out of 10 recommend
Okay.
them. Truly. Not to make this a commercial, but shout
All
out
right.
Rothy's.
Oh, I love that. All right. Well, we are nearing the end of our time already. As
Mm.
unbelievable as that is,
I know it goes so
it
fast.
does,
It
especially when
really
you're
does.
a good guest. Um,
Oh, thank you
but
for
Yes.
having.
one last thing I want to
Yeah.
plug slash ask. So,
Oh, okay.
um, Libby has very vivid dreams. And she makes TikToks about some of these vivid dreams.
Mm.
Can you share with us one of your favorite wild dreams?
Oh man, there's been a lot. I do have one that ties back to Western. It wasn't recent, so I might be mixing some of it up, but it was, and I do truly think that maybe this is a Pisces thing too. Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
things deeply emotionally, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one who really stews in it in the moment.
Yeah.
So I totally think it comes up when I sleep, which
Yes.
is rude because then you can't get like peaceful, calm sleep. But I was at Western and it looked so different
Mm-hmm.
and things were being like remodeled. I didn't recognize anyone except for Lisa was there and then like one gal who was in the class below me. And it was so disorienting. And I think it, and you know what's really sad is a lot of these just have sad undertones.
Yeah.
Like I started the TikTok thinking I'm going to be so comedic and funny, like people are going to love this, and then I just have these dreams that are depressing. um, so that one definitely came up, and I was like, oh, this makes sense. Just
Yeah.
feeling like disconnected from who I was in college, and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to see things change and whatnot. So the goal of the TikTok account isn't to like dream analyze because I don't think I'm smart enough to do that, but sometimes it ends up happening that way. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's your TikTok
I
handle?
think it's all lowercase lens into Libby's dreamland. I don't know if there's an apostrophe. I don't know if I'm very new to TikTok and I don't know if it allows for that. I will say I was laugh crying in bed last week at one of those. Have you seen those trend videos where the caption is like, see if they can match your weird energy?
Yeah.
And someone like freaks out that there's like a spider or imminent danger, and they just see how the person reacts
Yep.
who's with them.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my, I was
So funny.
cackling in bed because I thought it was so funny,
Yes.
but I'm not on there enough to like understand everything yet. But you both come up on mine, and I enjoy those. So
Don't lie. Well,
yeah.
thank you. That's very kind. Uh, well, thank you so much for being on, and I appreciate that you listen to the episodes and remember them in depth. That's awesome. I appreciate it so much. I love when we have a listener on.
Yeah, I really have enjoyed it, and I listen to so many podcasts. You guys are in the mix happily. I'm sorry I'm not a streamer. One, I don't know how Twitch works. And two, you
Please.
guys do Wednesdays and Sundays, and Wednesdays are usually my dance night, and then Sundays I'm a church gal, but like the cool one, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beyonce.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'll try
Absolutely.
and tune in sometime if I ever figure out how Twitch works.
Yeah, no, that's so sweet of you. We love support in any avenue, so thank you for your support and thank you for being
Yeah,
on.
thank you for having me.
Maddie, cut it. Now we can talk shit.
Okay, great. So for the outro, okay, hi everybody. Thanks for listening to the Libby episode. I hope you loved it. We loved it. She was great. Can we just get to it so that
Let's just get to it.
don't have to keep muting
Yes.
my mic? Hi everybody. We bought a dog,
Yes, they did.
a puppy. We have a puppy.
And by we, she means her and Emmett, not her and I.
What if we did like a transcontinental dog? Can we?
Listen to
It
that.
sounds like I'm torturing her. I'm torturing her. She's standing alone in the middle of the room. Tortured.
Puppies are they're so pathetic because they're like babies. They just cry and they're little whimpers. They don't need anything. They're just bored.
They're so bored. And she has so many toys and she's just none of them. She doesn't want any of them.
She wants your love and affection.
I know. I actually come here.
What is your new child's name?
Her name is Pepper. Her name is Sergeant Pepper, to be precise.
Yes.
She looks like she's been through it, and that's because she has been. We're dealing with it. We're moving on, and everything's okay. Things are progressing well, and that's what matters.
That's good. That's good.
She smells like a puppy, and it's not a smell that anyone in my household is enjoying.
Yeah, so the long-held debate of is puppy breath cute has been going on, and Hannah and Emmett are not about puppy breath.
No. And she smells just like a litter.
Yeah.
So I keep putting like smelly stuff on her and hoping for the best. Like a good moisturizer. Cause she also, let's talk about it. She also has possibly ringworm.
Happens.
And I thought the spots on her though were like dry spots, so we were putting like a balm on her. I'm scared to touch them now.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
But we were worried she was getting dry, so that's why we were putting lotion on her. But no, now she's just diseased.
It's okay.
And I have to drop a fecal sample off?
That's
insane to me.
I mean, you get to the point though, I don't know. I mean, you've had dogs and stuff, but like for me, I'll do it once every like, now that Maeve's older, I used to do it every time I took her to the vet because she had so many stomach issues. But with both the dogs, when I take them to get their Bordatello, like cough, or
yes,
that's the like kennel cough essentially, like shot.
Mm-hmm.
Since my dogs go to dog parks and stuff a lot, you're supposed to get it like every 6 months versus every year. So when I do that, I normally drop off fecal samples too and do it. And it's annoying because they charge for the testing of it, but then they also do like a disposing fee because it's a hazardous material.
Oh my god, there's a toilet for a
like,
reason.
Come on. It should be included in the fee. I get it, but it's healthcare for animals is also stupid. So
oh my god, classic insurance
issue. But
I had to file my first claim. We'll see how it goes.
Love it. Can't wait.
I'll tell you how it goes because I fucking hate insurance.
Yeah, it's a bitch. But you'll get in the mindset of it as you start taking her to the vet more, where you're like, oh, it's vet day, I need to just take this poop with me. And it's so awful,
Yeah.
like bagging it and putting it in the car, and then your car just kind of
I
smells like
literally,
shit.
yes. I had no idea. They were like, "Did you drop your fecal sample off?" And I said,
Mm-mm.
"I didn't know I was supposed to do that." And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, oh, "This is common. I thought you'd have to ask for it.
Well,
Like I thought they'd be like,
I
bring
think
it."
for like puppies and like first times and stuff, they
Yeah.
require it. But a
Yeah.
lot of times too, they'll give you like at some places they'll give you a bag, but it's like a Ziploc bag that is stiff as hell, and it's like this little. And for me, I'm
Ew.
like, that is not gonna cut it. I can't use this.
No.
So
I'm not breaking this
yeah, I
up.
will be bringing
I'm
it in
not
a
hand breaking
normal
this up.
doggy poop bag, and you will deal.
Yes. Oh my God. I can't believe that. Yeah, what would you do?
I mean,
Oh,
I
she's
guess some
funny.
people have small enough dogs that their poop is like could fit in it.
This one's poop would already not fit in it. Here's the update. She's 15 and a half pounds right now.
it
There's her
it's
update.
so good. I can't wait. 15 and a half pounds. That's a good size.
Yeah, if only she stayed this way. I wish she, like, the more we have her, the more I'm like, oh, I wish she'd stay a mini horse.
Yes.
They're so
There's
cute. And
yeah.
she really looks like a miniature one instead of like a puppy.
Mhm.
So it would be cute.
That's the thing. That's how Maeve was. When Maeve got to about 25 pounds, I was like, I wish you'd stop right here. Do not grow
Yeah,
anymore. You're perfect.
you're perfect
And I mean,
right
she's still
here.
so little in
Yeah.
comparison, but I keep looking for her. She's not in here. And especially when she's cut down. She's a skinny girl.
She's a skinny
But
lady.
yeah, you just look back at the puppy photos, and a year from now, you'll look back on them and be like,
Yeah, my little tiny baby. She's so tiny.
she's so sweet. How's she?
Yeah,
So
she is.
last time I asked, she was sitting and such. She responds to her name, right? That's
Yes,
good.
she does all of those things. She's starting to come to us on command, which is
Nice.
nice. Oh, she is starting to wait before she eats. We have her
Mm-hmm.
sit
Love that.
before. Um, Pottying outside is going better. If we say potty, she's gotten better at it. Um, I think that's kind of it. She's not very skilled.
She's
She's fighting for her life. You know what I mean? We're trying to be nice to her.
100%. No, but that's
Yeah.
great. Does she eat like really fast? Yeah.
Yes. So she gets pulled away
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of it a couple
Mess
times.
with her face.
Emmett's really good about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's interesting how dogs will like change how their eating behaviors are. Maeve never really was an eat fast person. Like we got her in a slow feeder early on, and she just sort of like didn't really need it. So we
Yeah.
gravitated away from it for her pretty quickly. But Tate needed a slow feeder until he was like 2, and then he stopped eating. Like he wouldn't eat when you would feed him. He would just like graze throughout the day. And
Yeah.
then within the last 6 months, he has now gone back to eating all of his right when we feed him.
Oh,
And
interesting.
Maeve has continued to be like, she'll eat probably a half or like 3/4 of hers when we feed her, and then she'll leave the rest to graze on through the morning or afternoon. And then we'll feed her again in
Yeah.
the evening, and she'll do the same thing and leave a little bit. But
That's cute. I love that they change.
yeah.
You know, they grow up.
And Maeve used to, the only reason she doesn't anymore is because we have that like raised thing for their bowls. But
Yeah.
Maeve lays down to eat.
Oh, that's what Bruce
Yeah.
does.
She's like,
Yeah.
I'm tired.
I'm not. It's like makes me
Mm-hmm.
laugh. I'm like, you're so tired that you can't
Such
stay
a
up.
baby. Well, we're thrilled to go along with you on this new motherhood journey.
Thank you. I am coping.
It gets easier, honestly. The first couple weeks are hard, and tiring. The first few
Yeah.
months are tiring, but it does get
That's what, like,
get easier.
like every time I look down, it's just black under my
The
eyes.
good news is the sleeping part becomes easier. It does suck that, like, you still have to take them out so much and you're worried about them chewing shit and whatever, but it's like the sleeping part gets better quicker.
That's good. I'm looking forward to that. It's a fun time. It's just, Emmett's been really great, a partner for sure,
That's good.
which has been nice.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't know about this. I definitely couldn't have had a dog on my own because I would die.
It's hard. It takes a village.
Yeah, it does. Always, always, always. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening. Watch us on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on all the socials.
Absolutely. Join the streams.
Yes. Chat on those streams.
Chit chat, baby.
That's what we're here for.
And last but not least, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, next week is a newsletter week. So get your email in there.
Friendly reminder to Maddie and Hannah. Next week is a newsletter week.
This is for us, not for you.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely growing. That's how we do it, you know?
That's what we're doing, slowly but surely.
Never gonna give you up. Hannah, any parting words for our people here?
Yeah, don't get a puppy.
Oh, okay.
Adopt.
Yeah. Adopt, don't shop. And if you do shop, make sure it's responsible.
Yeah.
No puppy mills.
Please do. No puppy mills.
Get it from a friend.
That's what I did.
Bingo. It's the only way. All right. Well, you all caught up?
I'm all caught up, except for it's a Great Dane puppy.
Oh.
Just in case anyone was wondering.
That meant to be my question after asking the name, and then we just moved on.
I all of a sudden was like, oh, it is a type of puppy.
Yeah, it is a Great Dane, and she is going to be a monster.
A monster.
Do we want to...
I was talking to Emmett yesterday, and I was like, I don't know, she's so small. Maybe she'll stay, like, maybe she's a mini. Maybe she'll stay small. And Emmett's like, don't even pretend like that's going to happen.
Do we want to place bets on her total weight a year from now?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. A year from now, total weight. 1 year old, or 1.5 probably almost.
So she'll be about full size a year from now.
Yeah, about full size. 140.
I'm going to say 123.
Ooh, cute. Cute.
If you
like
want to
that.
get in on the guessing game of what you think the weight will be, go to Twitter and let us know. And if you get it right, golf rules. And that,
I don't know what golf rules
is it golf? You want to, what is it? Under? You want to stay under?
Oh, sure. Stay under. Whoever is the closest without going over.
That's it. I don't know why I said golf. Is that like a thing?
I was like, pars? Birdies.
I think it is. Yeah,
eagles.
because you want to get like under a certain amount of strokes. I think that's why my brain said golf. Either way.
Oh, that makes sense.
Either way. Can't go over. Want to be closest to it. Maybe you'll win something.
I will sneak hint just because we all need to know the same information. Her mother was 165 pounds. Her dad is pushing 200. However, they are thick dogs, and we're probably not going to keep it thick because it's better for the little baby's bones.
Yeah.
So we'll try and keep it pretty lean, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, kids.
Now we're all caught
Now
up.
we're all caught up. Okay.
Perfect.
Bye.